Okay, let me hear you, Timothy.
Hello.
So you go by Timothy or Tim?
Tim is fine.
Tim?
Yeah. Well, say Timothy, and
I have to stick with it once I start.
What do you like?
I like
always
Tim.
called you Tim. So.
Yeah. Tim is good.
Called you Tim.
Did you want? Oh, you have a beverage, and you're okay.
Well said. She's been nursing that since I saw him yesterday.
Because the line of questioning is so intense and so aggressive that you'll start experiencing dry mouth momentarily.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll wish you had the water or beverage.
Should we close that door?
Yeah, probably a good idea. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, we just did the film you
Lucky, yeah.
directed, Lucky. About what was that? Like in
September.
September? Yeah. Oh, so it was a little okay. It was a little while ago. It just feels much more recent. How'd that go? How was that experience?
It all went great. I mean, it was very well received, and I traveled with it, and it was exciting to have audiences all over the world see it and respond to it. So it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're ready to go with to direct another soon? You think? John?
I'd like to direct again soon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you're in demand, apparently. So that's
can't stop acting.
No, I can see that. I mean, you're a busy guy. Okay, so we're with John Carroll Lynch. Go ahead.
Just moving that up a little bit.
Yeah, of course. John Carroll Lynch back for a second time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very exciting to bring you back. Although it's the third time now we've met. Gotten together, because your wife was in that movie. They had a screening at the Museum of the Movie.
That's right.
Just to refresh.
Museum of Moving Image. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Timothy McNeil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go with Timothy. By the end of it, Mike will be calling you Timmy. I don't know. This is your first feature that you directed.
My first feature, yeah.
So what? But you did have? Were you? You're an actor.
Yeah, I started as an actor, but I'm also a writer-director.
Oh, okay.
In theater,
in
mostly.
Theater.
Yeah.
Do I shouldn't say where. Tell me where
in
you.
Los Angeles.
Most primarily in Los Angeles. Okay. So you write your own plays?
Yeah.
I wonder.
You
I
wrote
never
this
met
play.
anybody. This was a play.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's right. This and this is called Anything.
Yeah.
And was that what the play was called?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a good titler, by the way. That's a very seriously, you are. That's a very important skill, and your plays are well titled.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
No.
I would normally say why you call it that, but I'm not going to, because I think it's kind of a nice little.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you see the movie?
Yeah. What do you mean?
That's why he's here.
Well, I do get asked that more regularly than you might think, which is I'm always surprised by.
That was kind of a joke,
Oh, okay. It was a joke. Well, but I do get asked that.
Yeah.
More, like relatively frequently, because it just speaks to that. A lot of people do talk to people that haven't seen the movie, and that's always a surprise. In fact, I try to see as much as I can of the person's stuff. I can't see as much of when you're talking about the amount of acting he's done over the last 30 years.
Spending the rest of your life watching John Carroll Lynch.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not actually true. If you just were to just fast forward to the scenes I'm in, you could do it in probably about 20 minutes. Maybe 25.
Well.
Well, okay, there's some things that would take longer.
You're being self-deprecating, I think. John, you were not in the. Were you in the play?
No, I was not in the play.
So.
As a matter of fact, the person who played early was Tim. Timothy played it.
Timothy, right here.
Yes,
so you wrote it and you starred in it.
Yeah. You can do that in Los Angeles.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think you can. Yeah, there aren't. It's true. There aren't too many cases. I can't think of too many. Although there are a lot of. Moliere, Shakespeare. They're all actors.
Yeah.
They're going back and.
Tracy Letts.
Tracy. Does he act in his own?
No, probably not.
Okay, that doesn't count.
I think no. He's acted in some of his own plays.
Oh, really? Probably in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yeah. You can do it in
right.
the hinterlands.
Right. It's harder to do here.
It's harder to do here, I'll bet.
Especially because now every Broadway play and a lot of the off-Broadway seem to be populated with big star names, which wasn't the case when I was growing up in New York.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just
As
recognized just recently, I don't know why it took me so long to realize it, that essentially the Broadway has become, for good or for ill, kind of like the Las Vegas Strip.
Right. It's true.
It's for tourists to come to New York. And,
absolutely true.
And enjoy really, really very famous people act.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And it didn't used to be fully that way. People became stars on Broadway.
It's a good point. But that's why I don't succumb to that style of theater. That's why I went to see Bruce Springsteen, because I'm an old conventional type.
Sure, an old conventional type. You go see the Bruce Springsteen show.
How was that?
I didn't go to that. I used to work at Sony Music, which was Columbia Records, or CBS Records was part of that. So I actually did get to see him back in the day.
It was funny, people started talking about the jukebox musicals, and then they started talking about people coming to and playing, and they're like, and they're coming, and Bruce Springsteen was like, oh, wait, not Bruce. Bruce can do anything he wants.
That's
if he wants
true.
to play Broadway,
yeah,
that's fine with me. He will do a hell of a show.
Yeah, and it is a show. It's it's a different. That's always happened on the Great White Way. There were always that type of.
I watched that documentary, the Ken Burns documentary about New York, and part of the Broadway part was you had to keep in mind the first Broadway hit was a bodybuilder in a gold lame diaper posing to music. So. Let's not get too.
I played that too.
Yeah, Tim was great.
Those were the Los Angeles.
You were really good in that.
Thank you. Well, we're not going to get to the subject at hand, which is the name is of the play, and now the film version is called Anything, and we can set it up. It's about a recent widower who's in a very, very depressed frame of mind, to say the least. In the opening moment, it's safe to say in the opening moments he actually makes a suicide attempt. We can say that, although it's not crucial.
You just did. So
well, it's
no, I think it is crucial.
I
think it's crucial to understand where he is.
Yeah, he's there.
And isn't it at times like that where you could make such your life choices, and it just reboots you as a person, right? When you have such a major dramatic life event as a death of a partner, that gives you almost an allowance to, or get out of jail free, or something to get out of your current
if his
journey and try something completely different.
If his sister hadn't dragged him to Los Angeles, we don't know what would have happened to Early. But then Los Angeles begins to work its spell,
insinuate its way into
and I do think you're right about the idea that it's a reboot. I mean, essentially, whether or not the suicide attempt succeeded literally, figuratively, that person is no longer exists.
Oh, it's true. Right. That's right. So even though you technically survived obviously, otherwise it would have been a very short film. but you do, but it's you are a different person, and
yeah.
I mean, outwardly you're the same person. So your sister, who obviously loves you very much, and is played by
Maura Tierney.
Maura Tierney, of course, great actor. But she wants you to be okay. She's so she has a lot invested in your being okay. And you go on this kind of what would you call it? Like a journey, a spiritual.
I mean, I would just describe it as. I mean, I think you've put the metaphor in the right spot, which is that he's trying to find out who he is now, and there are certain things that seem to resonate with the character that seem to repeat themselves in the new version, but then there are other parts that don't anymore, and it's a matter of trying to fit them in. But it's also a precarious journey. There's no guarantee that, that in the story that Tim wrote and directed, there's no guarantee that Early's going to survive this journey either. There's no guarantee of that.
I guess just to finish the setup for it, the Early moves to Hollywood, and which is, maybe those who don't know, it's it's like moving to Times Square. Back in the day,
sort of like
back in the day, Times Square is pretty cleaned up, so we don't really have a Times Square.
West LA, which is
kind of
Tony, and he moves through the social strata all the way to Hollywood,
all the way down to Hollywood.
Well, why is this guy who he's got some money put away, he's got means, right? Why does he choose to move to this part? It's like it's not far. The building that you move into is populated by people that are kind of struggling. There's some transient types. There's some addicts, and I can understand how to make a good play, though.
Yeah.
Too, because it's you have a very interesting, and it translates well to the film.
Yeah, I think when people experience something like Early did, there is a desire to move away from anything that they've known before, and
Right.
I think that's particular to Southern people. If Southerners move out of the South, they will move. Well, this isn't entirely true. This is a
You're generalizing.
generalization,
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's true
Go
about
for
Early.
it.
He will move towards something that's probably radically different in some people's eyes, but it's something that he's seeking,
Mhm.
He's moving towards something that he can feel, which is someplace out of his norm and out of what he's experienced before, which is what I did when I came to Los Angeles,
Where are you from?
I was born in Mississippi, but I was raised in Houston.
Okay.
So it's not that radical of a difference, but
Yeah.
it is still quite a difference.
Yeah.
Los Angeles is a place that'll set you free if you're open to it.
Huh. Okay.
I described it earlier, and I really do believe this is true. It's the island of misbegotten toys.
It is completely
It's nobody wants a Charlie in the box.
Oh, John.
Do you feel like the South expects more of you to live more conventionally, perhaps?
Maybe it's a more ordered society.
It's
but
more
I don't
ordered
think
a
it's-
little bit?
I don't think it's necessarily
Still?
just about the South. I
No.
think you can find that in Omaha and Chicago, and you can find it in lots of different places.
Yeah.
But Los Angeles is a place of misbegotten toys and dreamers and filled with eros and rebellion, and everybody seeking self,
Yeah.
which is crazy. It's a whole city of people running around looking for themselves,
Sure.
which I love.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like the phrase eros and rebellion.
Right.
That one hits me.
Hmm. So, did you, Timothy? Did you always know you were going to direct the film
No.
adaptation? Was that something that
No,
just sort of became a
Ruffalo,
practical?
Mark Ruffalo executive produced.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he really,
Correct.
And he pushed.
I forgot that.
No, he pushed me towards it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said, I love this, write the script. And I thought it was because he wanted to direct it or be in it. And then he said, okay, now you're going to direct it. And I said, well, I've never directed a film. He said, oh, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I directed a lot of theater. And then, so he's the godfather of the whole thing.
Yeah, and you get a producer on and a cinematographer.
Yeah.
You're okay, right? As long as they're not going to make fun
And I
of
had
you.
great actors. If you have
Can you
great
name one?
actors, John Carroll Lynch, because he's here.
Now you've made it awkward.
It won't be the first time.
Mark and you. How long have you known each other? How long have you guys known each other?
Since '86.
So
Oh
long
my
time.
gosh! So did you?
32 years.
Oh my God! Did
When I
you
met
work
him,
with him?
He was 18 years old, and
Uh-huh.
we went to the same school, the Stella Adler Academy of Acting in Los Angeles.
I see.
And when I met him, he was taking the train up from San Diego to study acting. So he was very dedicated. He was
You were
doing
like
it.
you're the first person he met. It sounds like
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of
Mhm.
the first. And we became fast buddies.
That's
fast
great.
friends.
So
Yeah. Did a lot of theater together.
So I got involved when I was out drinking with Mark. We had a couple of drinks, and we worked together, I think, twice by then, or maybe 3 times, close to 3 times by then. I think it was after he directed Sympathy for Delicious, I think. But anyway, it was somewhere around there. And he told me about this play, the screenplay that was being written, and he said, you should read that. And then I got a call from him or a text from him saying, here's Tim's number, you should call him. So Tim and I met in Hollywood. We met at Mel's Diner. He sent me the script, and he met in Mel's Diner,
Mel's
and we kind of
Diner?
made
Yeah.
Is it open?
yeah, there are 2 of them. There's 2 of them. There's one in the Valley and one
Oh,
just south of Hollywood and Highland.
okay. Because I remember the one in.
It's catty corner, or almost diagonal from the Hollywood High School, right? It's not
Yeah,
far
it's
from
right
there.
right next to
So-
Hollywood High.
So anyway, we sat down and started talking about it, and we kind of made a pact that we would do this thing.
And that was, what, 4 or 5 years ago before we
Yes.
did it.
Wow.
Easily.
Yeah.
So raising money the reason it took so long to, or just schedules, or just life.
Things move like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It moved in a particular way, and I suppose if I had known more about the business, because when we sat down and talked, it was still almost felt like a fiction to me. Like it was strange. And then as we went along, it began to get momentum. And again, that was, I think, because John was attached and people were responding to the script. And so it started to grow from there. But there were long periods where it sort of sat. And I don't know, I can't remember why that was. But it just would sit around.
And this isn't self-deprecating at all. This is just the fact of the matter. You know, if as I said to Tim when we first met, I said, I'm happy to do this part. I love this part. I'd love to do it. But you should find someone more famous than me to do it. You'll get it done a lot faster.
Yeah, but what he's not saying and what he doesn't realize, or maybe I haven't told him, is that when I handed the script to people and I said, John Carroll Lynch is attached to play early, they went, oh, okay, and they read it.
So there you go.
That's true. He doesn't like to say that.
No, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate it, but I mean, there's a lot of ways that these movies take a while to do, and they have a kind of a rhythm to them. Like you said, it takes a certain amount of time, and part of it is in the pact that people make with each other to do them, and how solid that pact is, because you have to agree that it's right for both of you and then whoever else joins. It has to be a completely agreed upon. There are no arranged marriages. You have to
and it has to survive time too.
It has to survive over time.
Yeah,
because there's so much pressure to so many projects and so many worthy projects, and such a limited amount of fuel.
And there was always Ruffalo whispering into my ears saying, "What's going on? How's the movie going?" That sort of thing. He opened doors when we needed them opened, so that was good.
That is good. But you had already done the play, so I don't know. I'm not even sure I want to ask who was the actor, or if I would have know the actor in the play version. But was that, I don't know. I guess it's normal that a play, you replace actors over time if you're lucky enough to have a long run and that type of thing. So to get somebody who's kind of different isn't usually, if they're open and they're talented.
I think that's true.
It's not a big
no, and he was a very good actor. His name is Doug Jacobs. Very good actor. It doesn't
better than John. Would you think better than John Carroll?
Oh no, I played early.
Oh right, so you played early.
He was obviously better.
There you are. Who is Doug Jones?
Doug Jacobs played.
I know Doug Jones is.
Frida.
He played Frida.
Oh right. So one of the other primary characters is a transgender woman.
Yes.
Yeah. Who plays a significant role in the period of time that you're living, that Early is living.
Yeah,
in.
Frida is Early's next door neighbor, and she and he find much in common.
Right. And as your already skeptical or anxious sister who has a great family, and there's a number of characters, and they're more understanding and trusting in you in Early's decisions and his and understands that he'll be okay. She's a little less sure of things. She's more anxious around that, and meets some of the other people in the building, and understandably is worried for you.
There's such a sense of trauma between the characters, Laurette and Early.
Yeah,
his sister. They've experienced some really seismic and fundamental trauma in their early lives that have created a bond between them that
I see.
I mean, it was so exciting to play with Maura and with Tim overseeing that. It's a really beautiful relationship, but it is one without a lot of it's an intense love in a closet. They don't have a lot of they're on top of each other and emotionally on top of each other, and
right.
And
which could be suffocating, by the way you
for both of them.
Sure.
And neither of them really knows to some degree where one of them ends and the other begins in a lot of ways, and I'm moved by that relationship because it feels so real and so and yet they want nothing but the best for each other. And I mean, I don't know, that's what we talked about when we were working on it, Tim. And I don't know if you have any other thoughts about that.
I'll say this about Lorette, because a lot of times people are looking at Lorette and not understanding the intense desire to control his life, But I think the circumstances are really important to keep in mind when you think about Lorette. Not only that she loves her brother intensely, but she's always taking care of him. And the second piece of it is that she has learned how to, in her life in the studio system in Los Angeles, to control situations, and she believes she can control him and make it better, because that's the kind of person she is,
and she needs to, because he's in danger. And
in her this is her perspective.
Well, I don't think she's wrong about that.
No,
the choices that Early is making throughout the picture are choices of someone who might be in danger. It's that a misunderstanding of what the actual safety net is that I think they come to at the end of the movie, is an understanding of the risk, the kind of risk Early is willing to take as a person that Lorette can't tolerate. And I love that too, because that really feels so true about siblings. There's some siblings who are willing to take risks that the other one is not willing to take, and it changes their fate.
Right. Yeah. Well, the name of the film is called Anything. It's directed by Timothy McNeil, and one of the stars is John Carroll Lynch. We could say you're the lead actor in it. That would be an accurate description. And it opens in New York City this coming Friday, May 11th, and in L.A., I think, the following week on the 18th.
No, May 11th in L.A. as well.
Oh, okay, that got changed.
The 18th all around the country.
Okay, all right, very good.
25 cities.
25? Are there even 25 to open in? I didn't.
We'll find them.
Hello, Omaha.
There you go. Well, you got Miami and Chicago.
Oh, you got 25 easy.
Easy?
Okay. Sure, it's big country.
I won't run through them all. 25 markets.
Don't forget Seattle.
Seattle, that's true. Most do open in Seattle.
Portland.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Right. So
Denver,
a lot in the West
Phoenix,
Coast.
Yeah. Santa
Salt
Barbara.
Lake City.
Palm Springs.
Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Palm Springs.
These are all among the 25?
I'm just naming
you're just now naming cities. You're actually
he actually
doing
knows where it's opening.
Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, New Orleans.
Yeah. Enough to say to people listening to check your local listings, if there are local listings anymore. Go online and check out.
I'm hoping Pittsburgh, because that's where I'm going to be, and there's some talk that it'll open in Pittsburgh.
I think Pittsburgh, yeah.
Good.
What are you doing there?
I'm doing a new CBS all-access show called $1. It's the story of a Western Pennsylvania steel mill town, and there's a crime at the beginning. It's a kind of a murder mystery in a way, but it really tells the story of that town, and you follow $1 through the community. So it's a small town and a big cast. It's really exciting.
Right. Is the that dollar, is that the what did Hitchcock call it?
Oh, it's the MacGuffin.
MacGuffin. It's not really a MacGuffin.
I don't think it's a
case.
MacGuffin so much as it's like a
device.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thematic device about. I think it's a device about currency.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And when's that on? I guess that'll
think
be
it starts in late August.
Oh, pretty quick now.
Late August, early September, I think is when we start showing.
And you'll be I guess you'll be.
I got another script. I'm going to be another 5 years, and you'll see it. Hopefully
Maybe you'll have
sooner.
some plays in the meantime, though.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just always working.
Very good. Okay, so again, Anything, it opens in New York and L.A. on Friday, May 11th, and then nationally thereafter.
It amoebas out to the rest of the country May 18th.
Check it out. It's a great film. Very much of the moment, I should add. All good work is, I guess, but it speaks specifically to, I think, right now anyway. And I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the support, man.
My pleasure.